with Profit Lifter, and today is day 2 of our April push for live streaming. We are just massively educating you guys and providing a bunch of really cool tools and resources. I am using a new software today, so I'm keeping an eye on it, making sure that everything is streaming properly. And that way you guys, oh, look, there I am. That way you guys get to see my pretty face while I'm going through this today. And hopefully the sound is much better, because I know yesterday the sound came out a little bit rough, but that's okay. So if you guys have any questions at all, throw them in the chat. I'm watching, whether you're joining me on Facebook in the group, or if you're on YouTube, throw in any questions. Today, we are going to be talking about funnel building 101. We're going to hop into to everything that you need to know about building a funnel. And what we're going to do is I'm going to take you through a couple different paths today. We've got about an hour before I have a hard stop at 1 o'clock Central Time. So we're going to jump in here and give you guys some direction. So as we get going, just throw me a comment in. Let me know that you're watching. Tell me where you're from. Make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't. Join us if you're on YouTube or wherever. Let us know where you're at. Let us know where you're calling from. Tell me about your business. Love to hear from you guys while I'm doing this. If not, I just feel like I'm talking to myself, and I can get long-winded when I need to. So just give me a shout out. Let me know where you're from. Let me know who's hanging out with me here. All right, so let's jump into building a sales funnel. So this is actually one of the most important things that you're going to be doing with your business. Before I get into the how-to, let me just go through a little bit of backstory and give you a little bit of insight on the difference between a website and a sales funnel. So a lot of times, like when people are getting started, if you're getting going in marketing, you're getting going, and maybe this is your first website or your first attempt at like digital marketing, getting stuff out there online, starting to collect leads through different channels. You may think, I got a website, I'm good. A website is there for marketing purposes. It's there for, I like to kind of think of it like a magazine, like as a magazine rack. You walk by, people see it, you've got your stuff displayed on the front page, you're pushing people into different places. But a sales funnel is where you get them to take action. And so what we're going to do today, sorry, I got people messaging me here. So what we're going to do today is we're going to jump in, and we're going to be talking about we're going to be jumping into we're going to start with a webinar funnel, actually, is what we're going to jump into, because I've got a lot of requests from this. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to open up your Profit Lifter account. So this is where everything's going to be housed. This is where everything lives. Is right inside of your Profit Lifter account. And what you're going to find is we've already got a lot of these funnels built out for you. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how you can replicate a funnel that's already there, and what steps are needed to be taken to be able to do that. While you're doing this, so that you can streamline the process. And then I'm going to show you, and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to show you some insights on starting from scratch. So if you want just whole new design, you want whole new structure, you want to just build it all yourself because you're one of those go-getters, we'll help you out with that as well. So first place that we're going to go, if you're in your Profit Lifter account or your Go High Level account, we're going to come over here to sites on the left-hand side. And from here, you're going to see different funnels that you already have in here. One of the big ones is your event promo. Your event promo, this is exactly what that means. These are for events. Now, when I say event, it could be multiple events. It could be, let's say we're just gonna say for today's point, it's a webinar that we're working on. But this could be for, like, if you're going live, if you're going to actually do a physical event where people can come and watch you. There's a lot of different options, a lot of different ways that you can use an event promotion. But we're going to start with a webinar funnel. So the first thing is this: if you've already got it in here, the first thing you want to do is we're gonna just clone it. So we're going to click clone, and then yours is probably going to look a little different because I'm in a master account, but I'm just going to call this one webinar funnel, and I'm going to call it demo so I don't confuse myself, and confirm, and it's just going to duplicate it right here for you. Let it do its magic. All right. So now that, and really that's it. You see how it already duplicated the 2 steps. It's already right there. So if by clicking in here, it's going to take you into your different funnel steps. Now, as we jump into these funnels, there's I want to walk you through just everything that's in here, because when you get into the funnel builder side, there is a lot of really cool features and functionality that you can get into. So first, we're just going to start right up at the top. This bar up at the top isn't specific to the funnels. This is actually specific to the sites page. So if you start clicking around up here, it's going to take you out of the funnel section. But you can see right here, the first one's going to be steps. This is going to show you basically where your landing pages and the different pages of the funnel are. From there, if you go over to stats, it's just that. These are your analytics. This is where you're going to be able to see how many page views you've had, how many unique ones. So the reason that there's always 2 different types of analytics, where it's an all or unique, is that way you can track it. You can see how many people are going to it overall, but then you can also see how many people are going to it for the first time. And then from there, you'll be able to see your opt-ins of how many people have opted in, what that rate looks like. And if you have sales on here, if you're making this a sales funnel where they're actually doing an order, doing any of that, it's going to show you the analytics for it, how many orders, what the percentage is, how many, the amount, the average cart value, and then it's actually going to show you your earnings too. So a lot of really cool things up there. If you click on sales, this is actually going to give you specifically all the clients who have enrolled through this funnel. And this works great if you're selling like a micro course, or if you've got like a online membership that you're selling, something like that you want to get people into. You can see everybody right there. Security, this is just that is going to be for security settings. And then your settings is the back end and really how everything looks once you get in here. So the first thing that we're going to do is, well, before we jump into actually editing it, when you're building a funnel, there's always multiple parts that you have to think about. So the first thing you have to think about is what is the actual thing that we're going to be marketing. So this we know is going to be a webinar. So with a webinar, you're going to need some sort of opt-in. And with the opt-ins, that means we're also going to need to create a form that goes along with it, so that people can opt in and it doesn't get mixed up. And then you're going to have your automations behind it, and then you're going to have your URL. So kind of the structure of what you're going to be looking at is you're going to have your funnel, you're going to have form, and you're going to have, I'm trying to type this. Let's see if it'll let me comment in here. It's not going to let me comment in the group there, but that's okay. Funnel, form, and oh man, lost my train of thought there. So we're going to have our funnels, our forms, and what else are we looking for here? We'll figure it out as we go. Funnel, form, domain, and automations. Those are the 4 things that you're going to need for every funnel that you work on. Again, your funnel is all about the action. It's not about it's not just informational. This is driving them to an action. So now we have our webinar funnel set up. Now what we want to do is we want to go in and create a form. So if you come up to forms, you're going to go to builder. You're going to see that there's an event one right here. I like to keep these in folders. That way you can keep them organized, because as you get going, if you think of a year from now, you could have 10, 15 of these forms just for events and things that you're doing in here. So from here, we're gonna duplicate our event form, and we're just going to rename this webinar funnel demo. That way it's all the same. And that's one of these, one of the little hacks that I'm always going to recommend to you is go through and make sure that you're naming everything the same, so that you can keep it unique, and make sure that everything is connecting where it needs to. Now, once you're in the form, you want to look and make sure it has everything that you need. So, like for a funnel like this, we're just going to keep it really simple. We're going to do full name, email address, and phone number, and then we're going to have their opt-in language here, which works for me. Register now looks great. And so we're just going to click save, and back out of there. So now we've got our funnels and we've got our form connected. Next thing we're going to work on is your automations. So if you go to automations, and again, I'm going to come back and show you how you can do this live, or how you can do this from scratch if you want to. But using what's pre-built in there is going to make this so much more faster and efficient for you, which is exactly why I set it up this way, because we want to make this just super easy for you to use and hop in here. So 3 buttons again. And we're just going to click duplicate workflow, and we're going to name it webinar funnel demo and create. And that's literally all you have to do right there. Nice and easy, right? All right. So now we've got our automations. We've got our automations. We've got our funnel and our form. The domain is the last thing because that's when you want it to go live. So let's hop back into your funnel and let's start editing. Now, if this training is going to be really good for you if you want to, like the funnel builder inside of High Level and the website builder actually function the exact same way. So, like as we're getting into this, if you want to figure out how you can add images or how you can change things on your website, this training is going to help you out with that as well. So you can see we've already got the pages pre-built in here. We've already got everything set up. Yours is going to look different because yours will have like all your custom values, all your custom codes in here, and everything set up. But we're going to just kind of go from scratch here. So we're going to start at the top. First thing I want to do is I want to grab my logo. So we're going to come over. Now, when you're in here editing, you'll see that these are broken up into different elements. First one's going to be your section, and the section is the big part, and this will always be green. So if you notice over here while we're hovering, that's green. That's what that's covering. Now, if we the next one that we're going to look at is going to be the rows. The rows are the orange ones, and then I'm sorry, the rows are the orange ones. And then you've got your sections, which are the light purple ones inside of here. Anytime you click on any of these elements in here, you're going to notice that the bar on the right side is going to change. This is where you're going to be doing your editing, is on the right side. So if we open up this, you're going to see, okay, we've got this here, and this is supposed to be a logo. Again, yours may actually already be loaded in here. So we're just going to come in, we're going to upload a logo, and that one works for me. Just double click it, it will put it up there at the top. Looks great. Okay. Next, we need to be thinking about the content. What are we going to be doing for the content? And so from here, this is going to be like I would put instead of join our live webinar, I'd say let's call this funnel building 101, because that's what we're talking about today. Join our free webinar, funnel building 101. And so from here, this is going to be this next section. And now all of this can be customized according to what you want. But really the goal here is to give some strong, unique value propositions with what you're doing. If you want another logo there, you can do that. If not, that's cool. But I'm going to come in here and we're going to say, learn how you can build your first sales funnel with Profit Lifter. And then come in and bold it. Now, you'll notice that before we bolded it, that it kind of has a weird color on here. Let me show you how to customize these colors. So as we're in here looking at these different text elements, you're going to see that it's going to give it a name. Opacity is like how much the background shines through it. If you want a text shadow, you can put that on there. That kind of depends on where you have it, and you can play around with it, make it look good. Letter spacing is going to be how close or far apart the letters are. You can see you can go like -1, make it tight. You can go 3 pixels, it'll spread it out, or leave it normal. That's up to you. Text align is just that. If you want it centered, if you want it right, left, all of that. Box shadow actually has to do with the box that all of the text is in. So let's just show you, if you put a box shadow around, you see how it shadows everything on the outside and puts it around like that. So let's come back here. Let's take that off because it kind of looks a little silly. And then the next section, next one, you'll see font size. Now on here, you see this little drop down. This is actually going to allow you to change your font sizes based on what they're looking at. And what that's going to refer to is actually what that's going to look like for you. Sorry, I'm trying to pull up my chats here. I'm trying to see if my chats are working for us while I'm going through this. But what that's going to look like is if they're on their desktop, that's what it's going to look like there. And then if you go to the mobile view, it's going to show you the mobile view. But you can change the font size based on whether it's desktop or mobile. Then icon. This is going to be the icon that shows up just to the left of your content. So let's just use the YouTube one, for example. So we'll put the YouTube square in there and you can see it pulls that up. Now, this next one is the color options. This is going to adjust the colors of your, this is going to adjust the colors of the font itself. So this one, we're going to leave this background white. So let's change that to black. Bold text, black. Okay, that works for me. Good enough. And then from there, now, the other side is, and this is actually kind of a cool feature. So like if you want to play around with different colors, let's say you want the bold text to be silly green for whatever reason, you can do that. The other thing that you can do is you can change the colors based on whether it's italics. So you can italicize it and it changes the colors based off that. If there's a hyperlink, you can change that. You can change the colors on underline. It really just gives you that flexibility of having some control over your colors, everything that you would want with it. But for this one, for the sake of making it pretty, we're just gonna make everything bold and just leave it there. So, and then we're gonna change that back because that green is hideous. So, all right, and then next from there, we're gonna have our content. Now, when you're writing content for a sales funnel, the first thing that you want to do, so you want to tell them, what is this for? What are you here? Join our free webinar, Funnel Building 101. Learn how you can build your first sales funnel. Now, from there, now you should have caught their attention with this headline. Now you're going to dig in a little bit deeper inside of this content, so that you're able to convince them that it's worth it. So let's just say, spend an hour with me, and I'll show you everything you need to build a sales funnel for free. All right, so now that's there. Now it looks like it's just a bunch of white space under here, but you'll notice when we hover, there's a box right here, and this is actually a button. And right now, the button does not have any background color because, again, we don't have our custom values programmed in here, but I'm going to show you how to do this. So when you hover over the button, the first option is your background color. Now, if you're trying to figure out what colors you should use for your buttons, use something that is brighter than your normal colors. So like if you're using blue, like a green, a red, something like that's going to work. But really, the whole goal of the button is to catch their attention, get them to click, and get them to join, so that they take action. So on here, you've got some of the same things that you had before: your letter spacing, your text shadows, font sizes, sub font sizes. Because with the buttons, you can actually put in down there what that looks like. Now, typography is going to give you the ability to change between headline font or content font. And I'll show you where that looks like right up here at the top menu, or this top bar. So beside the top bar, you've got your add elements. You've also got layers, which is going to show you all the different layers and all the different sections on the screen, on the page. So that way, if you've got some that are tight and you need to come down, you can highlight them, and it will highlight that for you. Next off is going to give you pages. These are going to move you between the different pages of your funnel and let you make it so you don't have to go in and out. You can just change your pages right there. Tracking codes. This is going to be if you've got specific coding that you need on there for, let's say it's a Google Pixel or Facebook Pixel, something like that. You can set it up in there. Usually you don't need that in here because there are places on the back that you can do that. Custom CSS, this is for your more advanced developers. If you want to have custom CSS for movements, effects, different functionality, you can program that in here as well. And then typography, this is gonna be where you're gonna be able to set up your all of your different fonts and use whatever fonts you want. These are Google fonts, so there's hundreds of them in here that you can add. So make sure you're using your fonts. Next, you're going to have your natural text colors, which this one's dark because it's on a white background. But if you want, you can change that to lighter color, and it will, all of your natural ones that aren't programmed in there will change to that white. I'll show you why that's helpful here in just a minute. And actually, it's this next button. So next, with your background, I know some of you guys like using darker background colors. If you want, you can change your background of the site so that any of the sections that aren't programmed will just automatically put the dark background or whatever color you put in there for the background. So like if we look at this section, this one has that in there. Let's go put it on transparent and it will show it that way. So background color lets you choose kind of the overall color of the background of the page. Next is going to be your pop-up. This is actually very important because this is where everything is going to be. This is basically where everything's going to be kind of living for your form. So anytime somebody clicks a button to register, it's going to bring up the pop-up, which I'll show you. We'll program that here in just a little bit. Next is going to be your SEO metadata. This is important because, like, have you ever noticed, like, when you share a page on like Facebook or basically any platform, when you share it, it's going to have all the content about the page under there. This is where you program that. The reason it's SEO because this is what the search engines are looking at to customize or to figure out where you belong in the search rhythm or the algorithm for the searches. So title is going to have this custom value. You can come in here and we're just going to put funnel building 101. Description, you can change this to whatever you'd like for it. Just make sure that, like, if you're not using a custom value form, we're going to I'm just going to go in here, rename it funnel building 101. Keywords, if you have your specific keywords, funnel, separate them. Anytime you're doing working inside the keywords, it's comma separated, so make sure you're using your commas separated. So we'll just call it sales funnel. Author is going to be like, if you want to have your name on there on who the author name is, you can put that. So I'm just going to put that's by me. And then social image, this is going to be the image that shows up when you share it on social media. So for this example, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab our image that we use for this specific funnel. And the other thing that I'm going to do is, since I'm using this, since this is the same image that I'm using to promote it, I'm also going to put it right down here. I'm going to put it right down here on this image so that people, they have a sense of familiarity. They're gonna see what they normally would. They're gonna see the same thing in there that as when they're, man, my brain's all over the place. They're gonna see the same image that they use to opt in with. So it just gives them that. It just kind of gives them that sense of familiarity on what they're doing. All right. So let's hop in here and dive some more into this. Hold on just a second, just checking our comments for seeing if there's anything new. Okay, no comments. Man, you guys are being awful quiet on me. That's all right. That's all good with me. So All right, let's hop in. Let's hop back in here. So last is going to be links and tags. This is where you can set up custom meta tags and canonical links. That gets into a very in-depth process. We'll cover SEO at a later date because that's a lot of training in and of itself. And then if your site's in a different language, you can tell it what language it's in there. And then once you're done, you click update. Now, one little hack that I'm going to give you is while you're going through this, make sure you're always periodically coming up and saving the page, because if for some reason you click out of it, you get a phone call, you forget, it can bug out on there. So just make sure you're doing that. Now let's hop back into some of the design elements here. First thing I want to do is now that we've got our content there, we got things looking good. Let's say you want to replace this background image. So I clicked on this section, and in the section we're going to look at our bars here, and we're not going to worry about the box shadow, but you can see the BG media, and now this is going to be your background media. There's two different options with this. First off, you can have just a static image that's back there, or you can have a video. So it gives you that option to do that. We're going to go with image, and we're just going to come back here, and we're just going to grab the same one for right now. Now, if you notice when I put this up here, it really just it kind of stuck it over here. You can see it repeating. You can see there's no background overlay on it. Where you're going to adjust this is right under here. So you've got your image options where this is center full parallax. What I want to do is I want to make this full center, so it looks like this. Now, this bottom one, is this going to be your background image opacity, meaning it's going to take your background color and put it over there. So I'm going to put it as heavy fade. So now you can see it's it looks it covers that up, so it makes the content show up there. And normally I wouldn't use this image, I would use a different one, but I'm just kind of showing you for the sake of showing you what it looks like. All right, so now we've got our images, we've customized our images on here, we've changed this up, we've got a book now button, and so going back to our button, we've got our headline font, we've got all of our font options. If you want to change how big or small your button is, this is actually going to be done in the margins and padding. So, for example, let's say you want it to be further across left and right. You're just going to come over here and you're going to change the padding to what you want, and you see it changes the button from there, and that's going to work on the top and bottom as well. So let's say you want it just a big thick button there. We like to call them the chunky buttons. So if you want a chunky button, you just make it so that people with big thumbs like me can actually hit it. That works great. And now you put your text in here. So we're going to say register now, and then it's free. And then this next one, this part at the bottom, this is something that you really want to pay attention to. So this is going to be what your button does after it's clicked. So right now we've got this set so that if it clicks, it's going to open the pop-up. Some of the other options that you have is if you have a specific website that you want to take them to. So let's say you have an affiliate that you want to add in here. You would put in the affiliate link in there. You can also hide and show elements based on them clicking, meaning that you can hide something and make it show up depending on if they click that button, which I think is kind of cool. There's some cool things that you can do with that. If you have all of your content on one page, you can have it scroll to an element. So like you click here and go, okay, I want it to scroll to this column down here, or at the very bottom, whatever you want to do, wherever you want it to go, you can program that in there. So that's scroll to element. Next is if they go, okay, you can have it, you can have that button go to the next step and work on it from there. And then you can choose what step in the funnel that you want it to go to, or next step's just going to move it directly to the next step. One click upsell, downsell. This is going to be programming your payments and adding different payment options. This one's a lot of fun. You can actually have a click to call there. if you want to grab them, or you can have it where it clicks to send an SMS message to you as well. All sorts of different options for you to play around with there. Email address where you can have it automatic, you can have it email, or you can give them access to a membership based on them clicking. For this one, we're gonna have them open up a pop-up because that's what we're working on. So I'm gonna call this section done. Now we're gonna move down here. This next section, we're gonna change our backgrounds because we don't have anything there. But these are programmed in. Now, when you're setting up any type of event, there are some things that you're always going to want to have. And you know what? Instead of doing this, I'm actually going to take a second and I'm going to set this up the right way, a little more what you're going to be seeing it as while we're doing this. So we're going to save out of this really quick, and we're going to back out here. This is a little tip. If you ever need to, if you ever want to change what your how your website and your Profit Lifter assets, this is specific to our Profit Lifter accounts, you can come down to your customized funnel right down here, and it's going to pull up this nice little form. So we're going to change up our brand colors, and I'm going to put in 008C20, as that's our primary. And then I want to grab another one. Yep, I'm just going to grab this one for right now because it's available. And then we're going to upload our logo here. Let's see if I can find my Profit Lifter account. Nope. Man, all my stuff's hiding from me. See if I can find our logo really quick. This is the part, like, I'll be honest, guys, the part that takes the longest on building this stuff out isn't the actual building. Believe it or not, it's finding the images. That is the part that usually takes people the longest, and it's the part that most people usually struggle with the most. But once you have that, it's easy enough. Now, another trick that I always do is I always, if I'm building, I'm always going to have two different pages pulled up on the same account, because it just makes it easier to get in and out, and that way, if I need to do something like that, I can. So it looks like Jack has a question from the previous illustrations of adding the images. Adding the image, what do you suggest to do before using a downloaded image to ensure it can be used? Getting letter from a lawyer saying we didn't have the, oh yeah, that's a dirty one. Okay, that's a great question, Jack. I'm going to pop this question up here. So when you're dealing with images, you have got to be compliant with your images. I really appreciate you bringing this up, Jack. When you're dealing with images, there are what I like to call the ambulance chasing attorneys out there who they actually have AI bots now that will just go through websites, look for similar images, and auto-generate cease and desist letters. There's a couple sites that I really like for this, for free images, and one of them is Pexels.com. PEXELS.com is one. The other one that is pretty good. What is it? This has turned into my go-to, is Pexels. It works. Pixabay is the other one. That's sorry, I was getting stuck on that. Pixabay.com. This is another one, royalty free. But really, anytime you're looking for images, you're going to be looking for royalty free. Now, if you don't mind paying for them, and this is something that as you grow and you start doing a lot of posts on social media, this is going to be more of an issue. But elements.envato is a great subscription. This one I think is really worth the money because you get stock videos. You can also get music, sound effects, graphics, images, photos, fonts, web templates. Like they've got a massive amount of content in here, and like individuals, like $16.50 a month. It's not the cheapest, but it's pretty like for what you get with it. It's not a bad price, and it's unlimited with that. Where like you start getting into some of the other ones, when you start getting into some of the other ones, like and I can't even think of what they are. They're going to start charging for. So like iStock, sorry, like iStock is a great example of that. The other thing, the other option that I think it works incredibly well is actually just Canva. The reason that I like using Canva is that like if you want to come in and if you just come in and you want to create a social media post, you can come in and grab a template. So we're just going to grab one of them for the sake of using it, customize this template. Yeah, it looks great. The reason that I like this is that I've fallen in love with Canva so much is because like something like this, you can actually come up here to elements and you can put woman at computer, and then you're going to see it gives you the options for photos here. So Canva is actually cheaper than any of the others, and you can get a massive amount of images in here that you can pull from. Basically, do whatever you would like with it and make it work. And then the other thing that I like about this is that you can set the sizes of your exports, because a lot of times when you're using native images, they're really big and they can bog down your site, or a lot of times they won't even download it. So I think this is Canva is a great option. The audio is breaking up. Man, I'm sorry about that, Jack. I think I'm having some internet connection issues, or my computer's just bogging down because we have a lot of stuff there. So Canva is a good option. So I recommend Canva, Pixabay, or Pexels are kind of the three that I would focus on. So hopefully that helps. And apparently I need to check our my mic connections and stuff before tomorrow. Appreciate that, Jack. But again, if you can hear me better now, Canva works out great. Pexels and Pixabay will stop you from having any issues with attorneys coming after you for that stuff. So, all right, let's hop back into our funnel builder. We are about 30 minutes into it here, or we're over the 30-minute mark. So, all right, let's hop back in here. So now, as you can see, we're going to hop back in here, and you're going to see that our images now, our background colors, everything starts to show up better now because we have the images in here. So the next step in building your funnel. So some of the key elements that you're going to want to have is, can you make a standalone? Yeah, Linda, that's actually what we're doing right now. This funnel is a standalone landing page. It's just called funnels so that it keeps it all organized for you. But that's exactly what we're doing, is making the standalone landing page now that will work. And when we get to the domain section, I'll show you that you can basically use any domain name with your Profit Lifter account. It doesn't have to be the ones that we program in for you. All right, so let's hop back into our webinar funnel. I'm gonna start zipping through this stuff really fast, guys, because there's a lot of stuff there's still a lot of stuff to cover, and I want to make sure we get you taken care of here. So while you're working on your content, you always want to have the date of the event, the time of the event, and the location. These three things are going to be critical for making sure that people show up and they have the ability to be there. Over here, I like to, one thing that I do when I'm coming up with content for any of my pages is I like to think through like 5 different unique value propositions. Like, what are 5 reasons that somebody would want to show up? You don't know how to build a funnel, you want to learn, and then from there, I'm gonna throw this in AI to have it start creating the content for us. I will be covering AI content this week and doing an in-depth dive on creating AI content because that's an animal in and of itself. But essentially, we've covered like kind of the basics of setting up the landing pages, setting up the funnels, getting everything in order on the design side. So from here, it's really just going to be about going through and adding the content that you want, changing up your images, making it look and do what you want. The other thing that's really that I actually like with these also is that if you want to add some of your own stuff, you can come over and you can either hit plus up here to add elements. You're going to come to elements. It's going to give you a list of options, or you can, like if you're on the builder, you can hit the little plus sign under there, and it's going to pull all this up. But if you can actually put like a countdown timer in here of when things are going to when everything's going to happen. So let's say let's just make it white so we can see it. And then from here, we're going to come down to, we're going to need to set up the time. So we're going to say this is April 3rd at 12 a.m. just so it looks good. So you can program in little countdown timers in there as well. Set it all up and make sure everything's ready. And so again, this is just reinforcing people. This is overcoming their objections and coming up with content. Like I said, guys, we'll jump into content strategies a little more in depth. Today is really about the technical side of setting everything up. But you can see down here, we've got it all set up down here. We've got your footers in place, your call to action section, and everything there. So for the sake of time, we're just going to click save. We're going to go on to the next page. So now that we've gotten that, what's going to happen? Next, we need to figure out, okay, once they opt in, where are they going to opt in? So we've got all the buttons are programmed to open the pop-up. So let's say they open the pop-up. This section here is going to be your form. So when you open this up, if you're doing this for the first time, you're going to have to, all you would do is you would come down here, put the plus button, and then we're going to put form. We're just going to drag and drop the form right here. And then it's going to have you select your form. Again, we're on the webinar funnel demo, and voila, it just pulls everything right in there for you. So you don't have to do anything. So if you need to change the form when you're logging back in, you can come over to the right and it'll let you select through all the forms that you have here. But the other thing that you need to do is you need to tell it what happens afterwards. So from here, we're going to have them go to the next step because that's a confirmation page. And so we're going to click save. Now, what we want to do is if you click the little eyeball up here, that's going to be a preview so you can see your page live. So let's click the register now. Yep, pulls up the pop-up. Great. We're going to put in our information and Keith at ProfitClicker.com. Phone number 877-661-1155. And I agree. And we're going to click register now. And from here, it should take us to our next state, next one. So, all right. And so thank you for registering. And you notice this, we didn't customize this page, but you would, while you're in here, but the automation's working, the system's working, it's doing what it needs to do. Now that we've got the shell done, we've got the structure done, and again, take some time, work through the content. Usually what I find for our team, it takes about 2 to 3 hours to really build out the landing pages properly with all the content and get it all ready. All the automation side, that's all, again, that's pre-built. So we streamline that process on it. But I'm going to show you what happens from there. So again, come in here and edit that. So for the sake of time, we're just going to call this wrapped up. We're going to say this is done. Next, we're going to go to our automations, because now that we've got the landing page done, we want to make sure that our automations are connected. So we're going to go to event promo, or if you're creating new, you're going to create a new workflow. So you just hit plus create workflow. If you're using your pre-built one, you're just going to log in here. Now, when you're dealing with your automations, the first thing that happens, the automations always start by a trigger. So what is the action that's taking place in order for this to happen? So the first thing we want to do is we're going to say registration form has been submitted. So we're going to add the filter, and we're going to say the form is, and we're going to use our webinar funnel demo. So now we know when that form is submitted, it's going to show up there. One hack that I can tell you that's going to save you a massive amount of time while you're going through this is put what form it is in the description. So under the workflow trigger name, I'm going to put webinar funnel demo, and then I'm going to take off the registration, and I'm just going to call it form webinar funnel demo. That way, like when I'm looking at it, I can see what form it is without having to jump in here. If you're not using trigger links or you don't know what those are, we'll get into that later on. Those are more advanced tactics. You'll just want to delete this out because you don't want there to be an opportunity of something happening with that. So now, once that form is filled up from that pop-up, these are the steps of what's going to happen. First thing we're going to do is you want to always add a tag, because if not, you're not going to know who's showing up. You're not going to be able to create lists, be able to watch it, be able to manage what's happening. So the first thing is we're going to say webinar funnel demo, and this is going to be a tracking tag. So that way, anytime I see this tag on a client or in their contact record, I'm going to know where they're at. We're going to save the action. Next is going to be webinar. This is going to be setting the webinar event date and time. This is an important process because what's happening here is we are telling it when this is going to happen. So let's say we're going to do this April 30th. So we're going to save the action. First off, and you'll see why we're doing this here in just a minute, because when the emails and the text messages go out are all dependent on us setting that webinar event start date and time. So first thing we have is a confirmation email. It's coming out in your company name, your company email, that are all in your business settings. And then it says you're registered. So it'd say you're registered, Keith. Great. Hi, Keith. Thanks for registering for. And then down here, you're going to want to change this out. So we're going to say funnel building 101. We'll see you. And then down here, we're gonna set the date at April 30th, not 39th, because and then now when you're working on webinars, the other thing that you want to think about is, where are you going to be hosting the webinar? Where is everybody going to be coming to? There's a lot of different ways that you can do this. So like if you want to buy software to do it, you can do that. I'm not opposed to that. I think it's redundant with all the functionality that you have inside of the CRM. So like I would use Zoom. So like I would set it up at like profitlifter.com/Zoom. So that way, when it's time, everybody just comes, they go to the link. It's nice and easy to remember. My support team can share this link. We can text it, all of that. But that's just going to be helpful for that. And there's URL redirects that you can set up about it, all of that. So you save that. That's going to be your confirmation email. And then basically you just want to go through these and just clean it up. Just make sure that the content's what you want it to be, where you need it to go. Just making sure that you've got everything set up how it needs to happen, when it needs to happen. Next, you're going to have the wait until. This is what's going to be pulling from this purple part up here, the set webinar date. So now it's set that it's going to wait for 24 hours or exactly 1 day before the event and time. Now, when you're setting this up, you can either set it as a time delay, which is just going to like let you set it as a like specific time where you can go, I want this to go out 2 hours after they register or whatever. With us working on a webinar, we want to make this so it goes out 1 day before. So we're going to say wait for event and appointment time, which you programmed up here. And then we're going to tell it how long. Now, this section down here, if the timing of this wait step is already in the past, how should the contact proceed? You can have it automatically move to the next step if it's already past that, but that means it's going to receive all the emails, text messages, or actions that you have programmed in there. Or you can have it move to a specific step, or the way that I like to program it in, which I think seems to be the easiest way to go about it, is skip all outbound communication actions till the next wait or event date action. So what that means is, like, let's say they sign up 12 hours before the webinar. it's going to skip this. It's going to skip all this communication, and then it's going to come right down here to this wait 1 hour. So that's how you can make sure that you're not spamming people when they're coming through, and that it's giving you what you need, or it's giving them what they need to attend the event and show up there. So from there, you're going to have 1 hour reminder. Again, go in here, change your titles, change up all the stuff, make sure it's fitting what you need. Change up your text message however you like it. Again, we have it for wait for the 10 minutes, and it's there. So very straightforward, not really anything fancy. Once you're done with it, you like it, you're in love, you go, oh, it looks great, let's publish it and save. Now everybody who goes through your automations are going to go exactly through this process. Linda has a question. Where do we find the URL of that landing page that we create? Great question, Linda. That's exactly where I'm going right now. So now that you've created this, there's really two different ways that you can do that you can set up your domain for this. So the first way is you can add it to your existing website. So for example, if you've got, let's say you've got your website built on your Profit Lifter template inside of the CRM here, you would be able to go in here and select it. Let me just show you. So we're going to go to our webinar funnel, and then we're going to come up here. We're going to come up here to settings, and on the right, at the top right, it says domain, and this is going to let you select the domain name that you want to use. Now you can see in this one, I don't have a domain, so I'm going to click add or edit domain, and it's going to take me right to the domain configuration. Let me see. I think I may have this. I think I may actually have this one in here. If your domain isn't in here for whatever reason, or you have a different domain name that you want to use, all you have to do is type it in here and hit continue. And like if you're using GoDaddy or one of the bigger ones, it makes it really simple. It'll actually go in and program all the records for you, however, whatever it needs to. So it makes it where you can skip having to log into GoDaddy, having to go through all these verification processes. So I'm just going to click authorize domain. It's going to have me sign in, but I'm going to skip it because I know I've already got this programmed in. So it should pull this up. And we're going to give it a second. This is one of those hurry up and wait moments, and one of the hurry up and wait moments and building funnels. The other thing that you can do, okay, so that one's actually not right. Recently, they changed all of our servers in here. So let me, actually, I think I've got this saved in here. I think I can access it with my GoDaddy account. Nope, that wasn't the right one. Yeah, I would have to. I'm going to have to look up my GoDaddy account. But basically, it should load everything in here. But next thing, let's try this. I'm going to go web-demo.profitlifter.com, and I'm going to add it manually. It's not going to show up right because it changed that. Let me see if it does. I don't think it's going to. And sorry, I'm actually running out of time here. I do have a hard stop at 1 that I need to be for an appointment that I need to be on. But if you go through, if you go through this process, you sign in, it will add the domain for you. Let me just see if I can. Let me see if I can do it this way. And pull this up in another tab so you guys don't spy on my information here. Okay, here we go. Now watch this. verifying my code here real quick. Okay. Sorry, I was hiding that one while I was logging in. So you see here now it shows GoDaddy plus lead connector. Put your domain to work, and we're just going to click connect. All right. So now if we come back here, we're going to hit try again. And now this should actually connect for you. It's the hurry up and wait game. I think I need some like Jeopardy music while things are spinning here. But while you're working on this, there are some things that you could do inside of GoDaddy that will work. But so you can see here it connected it. So like I'm just going to connect it to the webinar funnel demo, and then it's going to have you set the default step that you want. So we're going to say event registration, link domain, and now watch this. If we go to geniesites.com, oh, I forgot to connect it there. Let's see. Sometimes it takes a little bit. So we've connected it there, but let's make sure it's connected there. Yep. Okay. I'll take the hurry up and wait. Yep, absolutely. Right on, Jack. That's exactly it. That seems to be the story of that. One thing you'll figure out is there is a lot of downtime while you're when you're doing this stuff. So I've kind of become the king of multitasking as I go through these processes. Let's see if it'll show it to you now. Yeah, it's going to take it a minute for it to register. But that's really how easy it is in here. Is like when you get in here, and part of the reason this domain name isn't working is because I use this in a lot of my demos and a lot of the training videos that I do. So like I know my A records are just an absolute mess on that domain because of how I use it and how often I use it. But the big part about it is that like when you're in here, if you go to settings, go to domains. If you don't have a domain in here that you want to use, you can go add or edit. It'll let you edit it from there. A couple other quick tips before I have to jump off of here. If you want, this is really helpful. Make sure you set up your chat widget. If all you need to do is just come in here and click save, and it will automatically handle that for you. But there are different options that you can work on in here. But the reason I wanted to show you that is now when you're inside of your funnel, you can, and you go back into your settings, you're going to see down here that you can actually enable your chat widget on your on the website as well, and on your funnels and your website. There we go. So now you see it works. So I'm gonna just throw this out there for you guys so you can see it. But like you guys saw, this isn't together. It doesn't work. But it'll show you the automations. It will show you everything. But it's really that easy. You see, it just like once you get your domains connected, it's really there. So that's all I got for you guys for today. Before I have to jump off of here, if you guys have any questions, anything that you'd like for me to cover, again, I'm going live every single day for the month of April. Every business day that we're open, I'm going to be live on here. So throw in your questions, comment in the group, comment on the videos. Send us a direct message, send us smoke signals, whatever you need to do. We're always happy to help. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me, and let me know what you guys would like to learn about tomorrow. I'm really leaning towards the AI strategy, and I'm really leaning towards jumping in on the AI strategy and helping you develop out your AI content for tomorrow. But if there's anything else pressing that you guys feel stuck on, let me know, and I'll make sure you guys are taken care of. Appreciate you guys all hanging out with me. We'll see you tomorrow.